My name is Daniel Miranda, and my company name is Just Right Heating and Cooling. My journey in the construction hasn't been that easy. We do heating and cooling, and it's a trade that requires a lot of investment on it. We started 12 years ago, and it just so happened that Faye Birch is the one that got me into the track that I'm at right now. Out of the sudden, she just called and said, hey, we're looking for a heating and cooling company on a project that we have. Can you meet me at this address? And we started from there. But on the other side, we're union. We take training really serious. And there's other companies that we partnered up that are union also. So that's not as hard as it could have been, but a little more complicated. So at the beginning, for a few years, couple years, I think we were non-union and we were struggling. And that's when Faye came up and said like, hey, Daniel, we need you to come here and be part of this meeting. So after that was basically somebody opening the door for us, the opportunity that we were looking for. The meeting, it just so happened that it was with a union company, and we ended up picking up that day a good-sized contract. It's probably not a lot nowadays, but at the day it was the biggest contract we have doing heating and cooling. And well, if Faye can do that for me, that she never met me on a matter of hours, I thought that I struck gold. And the reason why I connect with PBDG and now with the new incoming companies, mainly because we all make mistakes, but we don't all have to pay the price. The way I feel is, if I made a mistake, I already paid the price. I lose money on a job or whatever the problem might be. There is 100, 200 more companies like mine that they're struggling and trying to open a market for their business. If my mistake and my experience can help them avoid that problem, then that's 200 times that we can save that struggle. On the same token, it's like, I'm not the biggest company on PBDG, and I learn from bigger companies or even smaller companies. Somebody else will make a different mistake and I will pay attention. And those people are usually open and honest to say, I did this wrong, this is how I fix it, and this is my journey. The relationships I make on PBDG are super important on our business or on day-to-day. There is electrical companies, there is security companies, there is general contractors. And when somebody, let's say an electrical company say, hey, on my building, I need heating and cooling for my offices. And well, they reach out to me and say, okay, sure, I can help you with that. But not only that, sometimes they get a customer, they say, we're gonna remodel this and we need heating and cooling, we need security, we need cleaning, and all those other companies that are part of PBDG, they jump in group, and then we can make those projects happen. Maurice is the chair of PBDG. He and I go 12 years ago, and there's projects where I don't even know he's going to be on that project, but we meet over there and then we help each other. We collaborate on schedule or just the relationship. It helps us do better on what we do. And if there is resources on the job, then sometimes we just share the resources and we save money. The biggest difference in my business, like I say earlier, it was Faye Birch. I didn't know who she was, and one day she just called and said, Daniel, there is a courthouse downtown. Skanska, I believe it was Skanska, is building this courthouse, and there's another contractor that is looking for somebody to help them out on the mechanical side. Because you're experienced and because you're on the correct field, then we think that you need to be on this meeting and hopefully you guys can work something out. We did show up at the meeting and we walk away with the biggest contract I have at the time. It was for a whole year of doing temporary heating or cooling of a 17-story high-rise courthouse, which is now the new courthouse in Portland. The rest is history. We now, one of our partners is Skanska, and we're collaborating with them for a new high school that's coming up. So a tiny little phone call turned into a 1-year contract, which is now a whole high school. So yes, PBDG is the force that kind of powers us. Some of the resources that we use from PBDG is the communication and some of the classes that they provide. We're one of the biggest companies, and as part of the board of PBDG, we kind of brainstorm and try to figure out what programs we can create for smaller companies. But when we're doing that, we're also talking to each other. Like Maurice, I'm going to mention Maurice one more time. Sometimes I just pick up the phone, even Saturday afternoon, and say, "Hey, Maurice, I got this problem. What do you think?" They're like, "Oh, let me see," or "Oh, you need to call this person," or a different board member. Like, he did that, and maybe you guys need to talk to him and figure out how he did it. And then just talking to those people, the communication, the relationship, that's how you avoid to make the mistakes that you would otherwise. So the biggest challenge I have before PBDG, I think, is making the connection, the personal connection with big GCs. J-Dunn, Skanska, Huffman, Fortis, all these connections came in through either Faye, Maurice, Vicky. They already work for these companies. And when these companies are looking for another contractor, another mechanical or something like that, they always say, like, "Well, like, I have just the right guy for you." They make the introduction, and then we go from there. So I think that is priceless. I've been told that we're the unicorn of the minority companies, because in order to be a mechanical company, you need a lot of resources. As you can see, we walk around, and the equipment that we have over here is not easily come by. So when we joined PBDG, we didn't have all these resources, but the fact that PBDG is able to disseminate the information and let other companies say, "Hey, if you're looking for this, Daniel can do it. If you're looking for that, call Daniel. If he can do it, he knows who." And that's the resources is the main, I would say, the magic for PBDG. If they can help you, they know somebody who can. And money is not good. You just basically, you call somebody, they help you. Next time somebody calls you, and you gotta jump in and help. PBDG is the heart that moves all the pieces around here. At some point, I used to make pretty much every meeting at PBDG. Right now, sometimes I say, like, "Okay, I'll skip this one. I'm super tired today. I'll go to the next one." But when I started, I used to make every meeting. And it doesn't matter if there was 10 people or 30 people, there was always one or two that I haven't met, I haven't talked to, and I haven't told them about my business. They, in turn, tell me about what they were doing or what they were looking for. And those connections are the ones that makes the difference. We, before, were part of other minority associations, but I think PBDG feels like I'm talking to my brother, my cousin, my uncle, where they say, like, "Oh, Daniel, like, I got somebody you need to know." Maurice is really good at that. Sometimes he just grabs you by the collar of the shirt, and then he drags you across the floor. Like, "Okay, this is the guy that you need for your project." And I've seen Maurice make introductions pretty much every meeting. So yeah, I do enjoy being part of PBDG. I would like everybody to know that just no matter the size of your company, you can always help somebody and get help from somebody. There is a project out there that is the right size for you, and the people that can help you get it are already here. Whether you're a newcomer or you're like me, you're already 10 years into the journey, nobody knows everything. It's as easy as to call somebody and tell them your problem and see which way they point you, and then follow that lead. I would like to take the opportunity to invite those people that are hesitant and saying it like, "Oh, I don't want to be part of PBDG. It might not be for me." Well, you might not know if it's for you or not. So if you already came to a few meetings, it's time to take the next step, be a member, support the community, and get help to grow your business and help some others. There's the family, the PBDG family is growing, and we'll welcome anybody. I've been here for 30 years. There is no difference to me if they're Latinos or they're African Americans or they're Asians or Filipinos, or it doesn't matter. They're all going to the same struggle. Getting access to capital, it was one of the big ones. Nobody wants to start a business that they already have $1 million. If they did, they probably didn't want to start the business. But we're all going through the same struggle, and the lessons I learned, they don't differentiate between a Hispanic or a woman or a Filipino-owned business. If we're minorities, we're going through the same struggle, and that's why I like PBDG. There's no difference. We're all in this together, and we're all pulling the same way.